Hi everyone, welcome to Eating Peace this week. It's bright and sunny and gorgeous in Seattle, and it's so spring, just beautiful. So this past weekend, I had a monthly private closed group that meets here for the duration of the year and not in the summer. It'll start up again in the fall. We almost have the last session. This was the second to last. That was just this past weekend, and we met on Mother's Day. And one of the lovely group members brought this gorgeous bouquet of flowers that the scent is just filling my entire house. So beautiful to share and sit with us as we all inquired into our stressful, difficult, strange, shameful, guilt-ridden beliefs, the ones that we usually don't want to ever say out loud, and yet here, this is a closed private group so people can get used to the safety of that. People do speak out loud what they are actually thinking about somebody in their lives or a situation or a condition. And by the truth of that alone, saying it, speaking it out loud, is a huge relief. There's a lot of freedom in just admitting what you're thinking. And then, I love the power of the work of Byron Katie to be able to take any of these stressful, crazy, nutty beliefs that we have that are running in our minds and actually walk them through the 4 questions of inquiry. Is it true? Can I really know that it's true? How do I react when I think that thought? Who would I be without the thought? So this week also on the phone, the telecourse started, Eating Peace Core teleclass. And some people are familiar with the work of Byron Katie and some people are brand new to it. It doesn't matter. But that question 4, who would you be without your thought? Who would you be without this story? That can seem like, what do you mean, who would I be? I have no idea. I'm trying to figure out who I'd be. All I know is I have the story, especially when it comes to eating, or any kind of a process that feels compulsive and addictive and like you can't stop. These certain times when you're binge eating, as we call it, overeating, you've got the feeling inside like you're done and you're full, and yet something in your mouth and something in your head, something in your feelings wants to keep going. It's really powerful to capture. I know I've said it before. Writing it down is a good thing. But to capture what it is you're believing in that moment that are not just the thoughts you typically think later that are negative towards yourself, but to actually see what else is going on. What are you nervous about when it comes to maybe your feelings? What's in your heart? What are you kind of anxious about? What are you reaching for food? Reaching for food only happens if you have an intense sense of unrest. If you're just completely relaxed and feel calm, satisfied with your life, then you'll eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full. It's just the way it works. When you're not doing that, there's something off balance in your own mind, and it is possible to catch it and to take it through inquiry and to just wonder who you'd be without a thought and use your imagination. So I wanted to speak to one really specific particular thing that a lot of people share with me, and I've experimented off and on with myself, and I have a strong warning about, and that is drinking alcohol. Drinking alcohol is something that lots of overeaters don't necessarily feel a huge sense of out of controlness. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But we all know that alcohol is a very powerful elixir. It's got a lot of whatever you want to call sugar and that kind of stuff in it. It's very strong. It can be very intense. And those that drink it often find that they lose a sense of, like get foggy and kind of lose a sense of hunger or fullness within that helps them stay on track, with just the sense of loving your own body and eating just what you need and stopping when you're full, which is really what my eating plan is in full. It's not even a plan. It's just I never want to go above a 7 on the scale of 0 to 10. I just don't want to. That's too full. Doesn't feel right. Stop there. And I never really want to go below a 2 or a 3 on that same eating scale because that starts to make me feel anxious, being too hungry. Sometimes one of those things happen, and it's just sort of the way it is. Maybe the hunger one a little more accidentally for me these days. Not often though. I mean, I just don't like the feeling of intense hunger or intense fullness, and I stay in that middle range between 3 and 7 all the time. If 0 was extremely, extremely, dreadfully, desperately hungry, and 10 was stuffed. So, what about this alcohol? Alcohol, it seems, affects people, and it makes that 7 to 3 range, that feeling in your body, a little murky, a little more sort of like casual, or something's slightly lost about it. It's a little numbing. So I encourage people that are struggling with feeling their body and feeling what's right for them with food and eating to just stop alcohol altogether for a while. Just stop. It's easier if you can. And here's something interesting about alcohol, which the same applies when it comes to food and eating. Your beliefs about what you think this substance will do, whether it's the food or the alcohol. Often they are thoughts like, it will make me happy. It will give me relaxation. You could just notice that food does this too. I will have something to do. I won't be so bored. I'll feel pleasure. I'll feel fun. I'll feel entertained. I'll be, I won't be as bored. I won't be so angry. It'll soothe me. I'll feel comforted. Just watch those common, deep, underlying beliefs that some people, you've had these shown to you, you've had these beliefs taught to you, you've been immersed in this kind of thinking about what this substance, whether it's alcohol or food, will do for you since you were a child. Because the people around you also learned and thought the same things. It's just like those that think of smoking a cigarette is supposed to be relaxing. Actually, when you look at the chemical breakdown of what's going on, it actually makes you stressed. And then you kind of need the cigarette to end the stressful experience. I mean, I would just question what you believe you've learned. You're operating like this food is going to help your situation, or drinking some alcohol is going to really help this situation, this feeling, this uncomfortable moment. And you're acting and operating like that is absolutely the truth, because you go for the food, you put it in your mouth. And it's very compelling. It does work in a certain little kind of brief way. But the thing is, it will not ever take away the anxiety or the anger or the boredom or the discomfort or the stress. That's never addressed with a substance being ingested. Now, all you have is that same exact thing: anger, sadness, discomfort, stress, need for relief. You have that same condition, but just with food or alcohol piled on top of it, and then maybe a little numbed out, but it doesn't go away. So this is about kind of getting down to what's underneath and really questioning, is it true? What I've learned that food will do for me, what I've learned that alcohol will do for me, is that true? I found every time it wasn't. This is not something that just because you find the answer is no, you now get to beat yourself with a stick because you're just doing the same thing over and over again, right? And you're doing it wrong. That's not what this is for. It's actually it might be hidden, this belief of what you think, just noticing how strongly you feel that this substance or this food or this thing will stop the uncomfortable feeling. And it seems to kind of work in a weird, brief, temporary way, but it doesn't really stop the uncomfortable feeling. So who would you be without the thought that reaching for this thing, drinking it, eating it, putting it in your mouth is actually going to help your situation? Who would you be without that story? All right. Take care, everyone. Let me know how it goes. Bye.